So my name is Serge, and this is kind of like my story. So growing up, I was in Baptist church. I went to Catholic churches, but none of them really felt like it was a home. And growing up, I did go to church on Sundays, but I didn't understand God. I didn't know what it was all about. And so I didn't really follow him. I'd go to church, and as soon as I left, I went out like a normal teenage kid, got into trouble, did things you weren't supposed to do. Just the fun stuff that we had as kids. Well, growing up after my teenage years, I got married 3 different times, and I still wasn't understanding God and what was going on in my life. Well, in 2002, in February 2002, I was going to work. I was driving an ice cream truck and was making deliveries. And for some reason, at first I thought it was premonition, but no, I finally realized it was God talking to me. He kept telling me that, no, don't go to work today. And I didn't listen, so I left the house, went to my truck, and again, the same voice kept telling me, don't go to work. You need to just stay home. Of course, I didn't listen. So I went down the road, driving to Gallup, New Mexico, driving down 666, which is always been known as the Devil's Highway. And as soon as I hit that road, I just had that really strong feeling again that God was telling me, go home. I didn't listen, and about 5:45 in the morning, I had a drunk driver veer in my lane. So normally when you're driving down, you learn when you're driving that when you're fixing to get hit head on, you always turn to the right, get out of the way, get out of the way. And for some reason, God told me, go left. And it was probably a good thing because 2 people's lives were saved that day. My truck drove over the top of her passenger seat of her car. And she survived, and I survived, other than I broke my back and all the fun stuff. And after that, I started listening more to what God was trying to tell me. And I started going to different churches and started believing more in God and seeing what He had to do, but I still wasn't happy with where I was going. And I ended up, with all the medication I was on, I ended up dying. My wife had to bring me back to life because of all the painkillers that my doctors had me on. Later on in life, after I get my back surgery, things are going good. I started going to different churches again. I still didn't feel like I had a home. And one day we came down here, which was to worship life. It was a funeral, but it was celebration of life. And I sat back there with all my firefighter buddies, and something told me that this is the church you needed to be in. I think that's when God really spoke to me and says, this is your home, this is where you need to be. And I started coming to the church. It was time for me, God told me it was time to get baptized. I got baptized. I got saved, and then I got baptized. And then things started going wrong in my life again. I got into some trouble at work. And I noticed the family I had here at the church, the members at the church, they were all like, everybody was praying for me, and things have been going good ever since they started praying for me. And so this is my home now, and it will always be my home. I now trust in God. I read the Bible more than I used to. I actually listen to a Bible app on iHeartRadio. It's the Bible in a Year by Billy Graham. Very good Bible study deal. And I'm just getting through Genesis, and I'm learning things from the Bible I never knew. I had no clue why things were happening in the Bible, and now it's starting to all make sense. And so after all this and being with this church, this is going to be my family home, and I plan on staying here till life ends. And that's my story.